Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Video Lowdown. Another episode this week, the power of video in a vodcast. Today's guest is a filmmaker. He has cracked the film distribution challenge. Recently, one of his feature films, Lucas and Albert, made it onto Amazon Prime earlier this year. He's a long-time friend. I've worked on many productions, short features, music videos with this guy. And today we're going to talk about how he managed to get this film from script to screen, a little bit about his journey, and how he managed to get his film onto Amazon Prime. Darren, welcome. Thanks for joining me today, mate.
Oh, hi, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, really good, mate. Really good. I forgot to say, I meant to say, award-winning filmmaker making movies for nearly 20 years. Is that fair? 20 years? I'm not adding years on there to your...
Mate, it feels like longer. I think more of a... I should have done time for that one, but yeah, no, it's been about that. It's been quite some time.
Yeah, excellent, mate. And you've worked very, very hard over the years on many different productions. I'm so excited to have you on today. Obviously, you're a dear friend of mine, and I admire your work, admire your talent as a director, and I'm really excited to talk about specifically this project because it's been a long time coming for you. All the projects you've worked on over the years, and you've got this one over the line, not just over the line, but distributed to a global audience, which is fantastic. And hopefully we're going to dig deeper into that through the next kind of 30-40 minutes. Before we do though, mate, before we hear any more from you, I think we should check out the trailer. It stars A.G. Longhurst, also known as Tony, and James Osborne. And the synopsis is, so I'm going to be reading this. So two aging hitmen are sent to clean up a bank robbery gone wrong some 20 years ago. Having always worked alone, they've been chosen by the infamous Mr. Mac to clean up the mess and get rid of any loose ends. Let's check out the trailer.
I've always wanted to live by the sea. I always thought if you lived by the sea, you were rich. We used to go to the coast every year on holiday. And I thought anyone who lived by the sea was always on holiday, so they must be rich. Do you like the sea?
No. Have you reported him?
Yeah.
Well, what did you say?
I didn't say anything, so everything was fine.
Cheers.
You got a light?
You're a bit young to smoke, ain't you?
I didn't ask for a fag, I asked for a light.
I don't smoke.
How about you?
I don't smoke.
Are you two gay?
Sling your hook.
Cheers.
Cheeky little guy. You must have that look.
What is it about this place?
It's my pleasure to be your guide. By your side with my head held high, I will guide you till the day I die. Oh, I see the light in your eyes in time. I know I'll be home when the sun is up. I'll be right by do you understand the things that I say? Come with me and I'll show you a place before some song was there to play. Oh, I see the light in your eyes in time. I know I'll be home when the sun is up.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. I mean, actually, watching that trailer again after having seen the film, the soundtrack, which we'll come on to later, is really good, actually, in this film. It was one of the standout things for me. But let's go back to the beginning, mate. So where did the idea for Lucas and Albert come about? I know it was obviously really well written by A.G. Longhurst, who's obviously in the film, and Robert Pert, who has a cameo as a pizza guy, which is quite a funny scene. The writing is funny, it's quite witty, it's a little bit awkward at times. You know, these old guys are trying to fit into a modern world. They're two individuals coming together and they clash. How did the idea of it come around, and how did you get involved as director?
So the idea came about on a shoot that I was asked to go down, direct and film and edit for A.G. Longhurst and Robert Pert. It's based on an old play called The Babysitters. And the babysitters are basically people who look after criminals or people who come out of prison, and they nurture them and make sure they're kept out of society's way and hidden. And we went down that film because A.G. and Robert wanted to put on another run of the Babysitters play. It's an amazing little play, and it did really, really well. It's actually been in the West End a few times, and it's done a mini tour. So we wanted to do it again with a new, fresh cast. So I went down to Clacton-on-Sea, which I have to say, never been before. It's a beautiful part of the country. It's absolutely gorgeous. And while we were down there filming these two guys, I stupidly said, these two people would make a really good film. So we carried on filming. And no word of a lie. 3 weeks later, I was emailed a script called Lucas and Albert. And I read the script, and I love reading my scripts because I don't write scripts. I've not got that mentality or patience, I think is the word, to sit down and write a story. I'll edit, I can develop. So when I read the script, I genuinely laughed. I could see it all happening, and it kind of grew from there. So we started talking about it, and I think it was a 6-month turnaround from writing the script to we're going to make the film.
Wow, that's fantastic. So 6 months from having the script, from you receiving the script to starting to get it made. So obviously, so that, 6 months, I think, in the grand scheme of things, is not a lot of time. No. So there was a lot to do in that 6 months to bring everything together, to get it storyboarded, to approve the script, to get the actors, to location scout, get your crew. So I having watched it, I've got so many questions about the stylistic choices and stuff, which we'll come on to soon, but it is a really great low budget film. And I think the budget was about 60,000, I think, was it? And I think you can see
just shy 70 grand.
Yeah, you can see the pounds on the screen. So you can see that it's gone into the way it looks and the performance and the location. You can see where the money has gone, which I think is always an important thing when watching a film, is, because there's not loads of special effects. It's all gone into the creation of these characters' journeys, which I think is really good. And I think you can tell that. It was shot by DOP Neil Phillips, aka Bear, who you work with a lot with. I've worked with a few times in the past. Wow, I mean, he is he's always been a really good cameraman, really good DOP, but this is exceptional. It's like it looks fantastic. So I know you have a really great relationship, but was it an automatic, like, for you, go to if I'm directing this, then my DOP is going to be Neil, or did you have to go through a process of looking at other people?
It's I hope he's watching this, because I think he needs to hear this kind of stuff, because I don't actually, sometimes I don't believe how good Neil is. I've known Bear for over 20 years. We've worked in live TV environment. We've done, I think, pretty much all of the 120 short films we've done. He was the only guy I would have ever gone to shoot my film, because it's a bit like a partnership, and you'll understand this. You are only as good as the people you have around you. And Neil and I click. We know exactly what I'm looking for. I know that I can turn to him and say, I need this shot. And straight away, he's like, I'm already heady. I know what it is. And, a lot of people say that a director of photography is more important than anybody else. It's like, he's the only person who can make you look good, the same way the sound guy can only make you sound good. It's absolutely imperative that when you're you're doing this, you trust the people you've got around you. And everybody on this film set was like, there are so many people who stepped up to the plate, but Neil just shot this incredibly stunning, beautiful film, and he's not afraid to put his ideas forward for it. And I think that's what made it work, because it was a collaboration of AG, Robert, me, James. Neil made it look as beautiful as it does. He also helped me edit the film as well. So
Nice.
it's the quickest turnaround in editing that film that we did, and that was the two of us together.
Well, you two do have a visible synergy when you work together. You and Bear and myself worked on a music video that I directed a few years ago for country singer Devon Mason, and that was really fun.
Yeah.
But even though I was directing, having you and Bear, like, because I feel like you understood what I wanted and Bear understood what you wanted, and we just managed to work through it so quickly. And you as a coupling, as a pair, I think really, you know, it's nice to work with other people, but I'd really like to see more films from you as director and Bear as Bear as DOP, because I think that the coupling is fantastic. So hopefully that, you know, that carries through. So you said it was about 6 months from getting the script to then starting production. Now, we all know that, you know, films are never made easy. So what challenge? Obviously, there are many positives, because when you look at the end goal and the wonderful film that you've got and the journey that it's been on and where it is sat now on Amazon Prime is fantastic. And it's easy to look at that at the end and through rose tinted glasses look at, you know, oh yeah, it wasn't that difficult a shoot, or it wasn't that hard. What challenges did you have at various stages of production to actually get it made?
Apart from staying sane, it's I think the biggest challenge was convincing like Tendring, Essex and Clacton that we wanted to shoot a film there, because I really feel that a couple of years ago they got stung and quite painted badly by a couple of documentaries made on the area.
Right.
But when you go down there, I'm not being funny, it is one of the most, it is stunning to go to, even when even when the sea is howling against you and the waves are crashing and it's dark and cloudy. It was, the location is very important. But I'm going to hold my hands up and say it wasn't me who got everything together. It was actually A.G. Longhurst and Robert Parr. And A.G. Longhurst, I could see him online. He was up till 2 o'clock in the morning. He'd be back up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
He sourced all the funding, so it's all privately funded. It was all people who
Nice.
we went to. A.G., I've never seen a harder working man in the film industry who puts that much effort and passion and his pride. And, you know, we also managed to find this little treasure when we were getting people together. And it's a young lady called Cheska Leslie who, she was the go-to person in Clacton. Oh, I need a boat. Oh, I can get you a boat. I need a castle. I can get you a castle. I need some old World War I and World War II ruins on the coast that overlook the ocean. Oh, yeah, I can get you one of those. Cheska was pretty much the glue that held everything together. And she became our line producer, our catering manager, our locations manager, our transport manager, watermelon sorcerer in December. You know, she was the person who could get anything we needed. And I can pretty confidently say on behalf of me, AG, and everybody in the film, if it wasn't for someone like Cheska, I don't think Luke's and Albert would have been made as quickly and as proficiently and beautifully as it was without someone like her. She's a gem, and I don't think we're going to be letting go of her very soon. So a thank you, Cheska. Massive respect for us.
That's amazing. So why did you choose to shoot it in Clacton? Was there a specific reason, or is some of the crew or cast from there? Like, what was the choice of the location?
It's the most important reason is Tony lives there. A.G. Longhurst.
Brilliant.
It was. The thing is, it's all great taking a film and an idea and shooting it in London or New York or LA or somewhere amazing. What we wanted to do was put these guys in a real life environment where people don't know this goes on. People don't know that they're a hitman. You hear about it all the time. So where better to do it than in a seaside town that's shut in the peak? And, you know, they're doing what they're doing. They're cleaning up a really bad mess. You know, a bank job that the sinister and evil Mr. Mac, who wants these things done. You know, in the film you see it, they fear him. He's a scary man. So where better to do it than where better to be seen than out in the open, where nobody knows you. So it just
Great
fit
answer
it.
there, mate.
It's
Yeah,
perfect occasion.
it's fantastic, and it looks typically British. Like, and I don't mean that in a stereotypical way, but I mean the way that it's shot, the way the characters react to their environment, the way that they're placed in the environment. It feels very, very British, and I like that about it. I think you're right. There's no need to take a concept or an idea that is essentially British and move it to another part of the country for I don't know, for vanity reasons, I guess. Really would be more, most reasons. So I think it really does show off the location really well. A.G. Longhurst and James Osborne are a really great on-screen coupling, I thought, and their backwards banter, like nitpicking each other like an old married couple all the way through it, I thought was really, really good. How did you bring them together? So obviously A.G. wrote the script with Robert and is in it, but then James Osborne, how did he come on board? How did you I'm guessing there wasn't a lot of time to do auditions, but I'm guessing it was almost we know we know the people that are right for this, and obviously A.G. was one of the characters, and then James came on board. So how were there auditions for any of the cast and crew? How did you bring those two people together?
I think because of AG's length of time in the film industry, and Robert with theatre and film, and A.G. and James, Jimmy and Tony is how I know them. It always has been.
Yeah.
Those two have worked together for so long. I first met Tony and Jimmy on a little short we were doing called The Open, which first time I met them, we were working for a friend of mine, Justin Smith. We were doing a lot of these little quirky comedies, little works, and the two of them had this. They've worked together for a lot longer before that. I mean, you can tell that they've worked together a lot. They were in Hatton Garden, the Heist film. They did a film that's just come out, I think, called What's the Score? It's a football film. Jimmy and Tony again worked really, really well together. Their partnership, and it was really funny how Jamie, I just saw your name there. How Jimmy Jimmy's the hero in that film without even realising it, even though it's based around Tony's character. And those two, again, on that screen just gelled really well. Tony took his little black book and he picked the people he knew would play these roles without us having to audition. And, for me, as a first-time feature film director, I was honoured to be working with the likes of John Altman, Kim Telforth, Sidney Livingston and Sidney Keane, who were in... You must remember this film, Life Force, the old British horror film about how...
Yeah.
Robert's been in 1984. You've got like Paul King, who's a British filmmaker, Rob Altman, who was the nurse who got a good beating, the incredible Michael McKell, who plays Mr. Mac. I mean, he's not like that in real life. Mike McKell is the most laid-back, happy, funny bloke that I've ever met, but he turns that real cold look in his eyes, and then he brought his wonderful daughter Claudia Grace McKell to the table. Jonathan Green, those two played really well, and I'd never met or worked with these people before. So for me, it was so humbling and so I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. You step onto set with John Altman. Everyone goes, "Oh, he's Nasty Nick from EastEnders." He's a very well-spoken, very clever individual. And he was such a privilege to work with. And that whole scene is the longest dialogue. He pulled that out. And, there were a couple of occasions where we were like, whoa, that was terrifying because he proper shrilled a lot of that stuff out. And, I'm honoured. I'm absolutely honoured to have worked with a lot of these people. And I've got to mention Bethany Linnell, the girl who asks for the light in the trailer.
Yep.
Never acted before. That was her first time, and she was just to see young talent come in, which I don't think there's enough opportunities or windows for up and coming talent to be given a role like that to work with. And I've got to thank Mike Linnell, who massively supported the project and everything about it, but allowed us to use Beth in this film, because she was just brilliant, and I already want to work with her again. She's absolutely incredible. Everyone was incredible. I would not have been where I am now with this film without these people being allowed to work with them.
Well, it's testament to your passion and your vision as a director, mate, I think, as well, to be able to bring all these. It's very well, but it's true, because it's having all the right people in the right place at the right time and orchestrating all of those elements in front of the lens to then put that film together. And that's what you do as a director. And it's fantastic. You've got such a great team. And I think actually when you talk about Beth, it's actually like those opportunities. Independent films like this can give people those opportunities, and it actually adds to the realism. That you're set it in this sleepy seaside town, but the way that it's shot and the way everybody kind of works in front of the lens actually adds to that authenticity of the story that you're trying to tell. So I think good shout on everybody really in the film.
There's not one person looked out of place. Not one person looked out of place in that film to me.
I totally agree, mate. So we need to come on to Amazon Prime, I think. So it's obviously, it is one of the golden nests of streaming. It's like a monolith of online streaming. And when I saw that the film you'd made was on there, you speak to some people, they go, oh yeah, you just need to do X, Y, Z. It's easy to get it on, or you can just do ABC. But even if it isn't challenging to get it on, it's not the point. It's the exposure that you have got for all this hard work that you and the team have put in. So how did you get your film from? So we've found a little bit about how you've got it from kind of script to screen and the people that were involved in the process. But once that edit was finished, what distribution routes did you look at, and how did it come to be on Amazon Prime?
Right. So the first thing when it was finished, and the first thing we did was we screened it at the Century Cinema in Colchester, which in Clacton. It was just an amazing place to sit. I've got to mention Rob Kahuna, who did the audio mix. I mean, that guy took our film and he gave it a full 5.1 surround environment mix. And this, a film is great to watch, but if it doesn't sound right, it will throw people. And Rob did this beautiful mix. We spent a lot of late nights in his studio mixing this film, getting it right. And, the music brought so much depth and character to that for us. We got to play it in this cinema where you sat in it and there was this huge screen, surround sound, and it just, I know that me and Bear got quite emotional watching this for the first time in such a big cinema. So we had that gala night where we raised a little bit of money for charity. We then, one of the biggest hurdles we had as well was BBFC. We were worried about what rating it was going to get. BBFC, I've got to say, they are so easy to deal with. What you do is you get your film ready, you send it to them, they watch it, and then they give you your rating. And we thought, we've got a couple of F-bombs in there. There's some derogatory language. And it came back to 15, and that for us was like a real perfect setting for this film to be released in. It's entertaining, it's funny, it's British. So once we got that, we thought, right, that's our first hurdle. We are now rated, we can show it. So we then had one of the most incredible nights ever. Was we had a red carpet event at the Charles Leicester Theatre in Prince Charles Theatre in Leicester Square, just off Leicester Square.
Yeah, and I love that cinema, man.
They went to town for us. We sent them the drive. They put it up on the screen. Their hospitality there was amazing. They made us feel like royalty, and everybody turned up. I think we packed the 500 seats. It was full. I got up on stage and did a speech. I was terrified, but I saw everybody there. I saw, Sarah, my other half. I saw my eldest daughter, Daniela, there with her partner. I saw all the cast. I saw friends I've not seen for ages, students from the ISSA screening school that I used to do the show reels with, and I ended up working with two of them after the film as well. And when you see that there, and then the response you get afterwards was just like how much. It was almost like, Darren, you've done it, man. You've really done it.
Yeah.
We did cinemas. The next thing was we thought, right, how are we going to get this out on DVD, Blu-ray, onto TV? And the thing is, it's not easy. I'm not going to butter up. So yeah, it's brilliant. You can do it. It was very difficult. We spoke to some distributors. You know, some distributors want money. They want money to promote your film, and you're like, I've already invested other people's money in it to get it where it is now. And I think the problem that you get is there are too many stories going around about how simple it is and easy it is, or you know how difficult it is and how nasty it is. Amazon Prime, we got told by several distribution companies, is your best way for your first film to get it out there. So what we did was you go onto Amazon Prime, and you literally, it tells you how to do this. It tells you what file format, what you need to do, how to do your subtitles. So you can put your film up with audio and video, and you can have it in the UK. And they test it for you, they analyse it, and then they give you a code. And on Amazon Prime, you can buy, rent, download, and you make a little bit of money. You know, it's great. And we thought, you know, we're going to make pennies out of this. A couple of people will watch it. So after the first 3 months up there, found out that we were just shy of 2 million minutes of viewing had been done on this film.
Wow.
That was 2 million minutes.
2 million minutes?
And divided by an hour and a half, hour and 40, that's a lot of plays on the film. And you're like, oh, wow, this is crazy. And you know, the money starts coming in. It comes in little chunks, but that starts adding up to your film is making money. And then the next step for us was you can go to America. So you can, in your same window, and it all explains how to do this. You do your titles, you know, your subtitles that come up at the end.
Yeah,
never done it before. Never done it before until I read up how do I do subtitles on my film. Premiere Pro does it for you.
Yeah, it does, mate. Yeah, I've done a few subtitle projects.
You type it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a tip for this. It took me a month to get the subtitles approved for one reason. When people are talking on screen, you do the dialogue to where they talk. You have to have 0 gaps in your what they call subtitles, closed captions. Okay.
Yeah.
So if there's a gap, you have to say silence. If there's breathing, you have to write person Tony
that
breathing.
Is interesting.
You have to fill from minute 0 to minute 90, whatever it is. You have to have.
And the silence, they will pull it out.
They won't let it out. So as soon as I nailed that and put it up, green. We now sell American Prime. So we are Prime USA, which means we've now opened up Prime worldwide. There's also Japan. So Japan is, and thank God for Google Translator on this, is you take the subtitles in and you do the same thing. So you take your subtitles in Premiere Pro. I type each line into Google Translator, translate it, but then I take the translation and double check it in another translation from Japanese back to English, and I make sure it says the same thing. So I don't think someone's saying that he's ordering something dodgy on the internet. He's actually saying what's there. The Japanese ones, you have to burn them in. They have to be visually on the picture. So once you've done that, you've conquered Asia. And then the last one is, and I'm going to put a shout out to Alex Goldschmidt, who is a commentator for motorsports and karting. He did my German subtitles. And my God, when you read your film back in German, it's even funnier. It's hysterical watching your film and reading the German subtitles. So now my last bit is the German subtitles. Again, just filling in the gaps. If you're doing closed captions on Amazon, make sure you have no gaps. And it tells you how to do this. Amazon is so helpful, so supportive. We even messaged them to say we're stuck. They told us exactly where we had missed one frame of closed caption. As soon as we closed that up, bang, it was up there. And Amazon Prime is probably one of the best platforms for an up-and-coming filmmaker who wants to get their film out there. And don't be ashamed to show your film. Get it out there, get it noticed, because you see the stats of what countries have watched it, how many people have downloaded, rented it, owned it, watched it on Amazon Prime. It's a good tool to go back to your investors and future distributors who want to work with you to see exactly what you've done.
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think there are a lot of like director purists out there who say, I'll never sell myself out and sell to Amazon or Netflix. I'm going to wait for a theatrical release. But number one, in the challenging times that we're in at the moment, it's looking very unlikely that that's going to happen anytime soon. And secondly, these platforms are created to allow, you know, first-time feature film directors like yourself and up-and-coming directors and even established directors to get their, you know, when you make a film, I think when you make a film and when you're a filmmaker, you want to share that film with as many people as you can. All right, and just, you know, I get that the higher the budget, the more money you have to make back, the more business-like it probably becomes. But when you're kind of at this level, and you've got kind of true creative freedom, and you know you're able to just, you want eyes on your film, you want as many people as you can to watch it and share it and promote, because that increases your profile, it increases the film's profile. There's no shame, I think, at all. And if I was going to be making or directing a feature, I would be pushing for streaming from the word go, because I think it makes sense and it's doable.
Yes.
And you know, so that's Prime. Is there any other talk of trying to get it onto Netflix or any of the streaming platforms? Is Amazon the first nut to crack? Well, you've cracked it.
Amazon,
is there a second?
Amazon, I think Amazon's a great nut to crack for the first time. I think for any film, it doesn't matter how big, long, short, small it is. I think it's a great platform to get your film out there, because there's no bigger. Amazon Prime's worldwide, you know. We have approached Sky. Sky, I've just felt that current climate, you know, they like to deal with people who've got multiple titles. They love the film. We got a great reply from them. It's just not right for cinema because we're not established enough, and it's not right for store because they want multiple titles to come in through the store. Fair enough. Each to their own.
Yeah, all right.
We're currently working with people to try and get onto Netflix, iTunes. Or I love Apple, but iTunes, you're holding people back. You are holding filmmakers back. You know, we have to go through an aggregator, someone who deals with them all the time. They then charge money, so that's more money that we've got to pay out. And when when literally your pockets now have holes in, and you're going down through the holes in your pockets in your socks, looking for change, and you're ripping the back of the settee out to try and get more money, to spend more money to try and get your film out, which people are going to go, well, hang on a second, you want your film out there, pay for it. We've worked so hard that to now have to jump through another hoop or a hurdle, you know, I'd love an aggregator to watch our film and go, do you know what? This is worth a punt. We'll get it on there for you. But the next film, we want your distribution on it. And, you know, we'll only ever make one low budget film in our life, because that's your ground zero. Low budget, made my film. I'm not making this film for anything else. It doesn't matter if you add another tenner to the budget or another 100 or $1,000 or 10 grand. Never make a film for less than that. You know, we've done it now. You know, so I think you have to have pride in it. You know, I think our biggest fear was releasing this film in black and white, which we spoke about earlier. It wasn't intentional to do it black and white. It was
I was going to come on to that. I'm really interested to know why it was in black and white, because it had a really good aesthetic about it, and like it looked really nice on the big screen. And I just all the way through watching it, I wasn't noticeably thinking it, but then at certain points I'd go, the contrast, this does look really nice in black and white. So yeah, my question to you is why was that the choice?
We shot the film over 6 months. So we started filming in October 2018. No. Yeah. 2018. We shot in October, November, December. Came back, shot January. and then we did, I think it was a March date and a June date, and then we actually shot 2 scenes before we released the film, 2 weeks before we released the film in August. And what it is the temperature. It's amazing how much temperature, sky and everything affected the film. And you see in the film there's some real dark days and there's some nice sunny days. When the sun's out in Clacton, it's really out. It's stunning, blue skies, beautiful, and it's hot. When it's not and it's dark, I mean, there's a lot of scenes you see there where the sea is crashing against the coast. We did nearly lose Jimmy, Tony, and one of our extras. We nearly lost them when a wave came up and over us. We were on the jetty at this point into the ocean. It literally came up and over us. And Jimmy shouted a load of expletive deletives and stormed back up there. And you know, when you want to pass it, I've just broken my cast. I'm really sorry, Jimmy. What do you want to do? You want a coffee? You want a latte? You know, we'll get you sorted. And, you know, we got wet, but it was so windy that we dried out in an hour. That's how vicious that was. And sadly, the drone guy got it, Greg Malone, who, Flying Shark Media came down from Nottingham to Clacton to give us those aerial shots. I mean, that it's amazing how much value that kind of shot adds to a film. And I've worked with Greg for years, absolutely years. And just for him to come down and trust us enough to do this, he caught the end of that wave. But there's a making of on the Blu-ray and the DVD where I didn't realise the guy shooting the making of, they filmed that shot. They were behind us.
Oh, brilliant. I'd love to see that.
I'll send you a copy of it for sure. But yeah, you can see the whole thing come over. And, oh my God. Yeah, it's it was interesting. But yeah, the black and white, you know, if you go on Amazon Prime, there's a lot of negative comments about black and white. It's no man versus dog kind of thing. It's not. It's Lucas and Alba. It's our film. It's something we're very, very proud of. And I think the black and white brought that real tension to the scenes, but also made it feel almost like a postcard kind of film. Clacton still looked amazing. Clacton, Tendring, Essex, and all these places around it. Even Harwich Docks. The Sea Otter guys gave us the boat for the day. Again, Cheska Leslie got us the boat. But that scene, that was just like a night beforehand. Oh, could we do this on a ferry? And, you know, we got this little boat and it just fit the scene. And in black and white, again, it like you say, the contrast, the look, and it just worked, and it saved us, because I don't think it would have worked in colour, although I keep getting asked to do a colour version. So you never know. Director's 5 years.
Normally it's normally the other way around, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
the other way around,
I recently got a Blu-ray for Father's Day from my partner of Parasite. Korean film, and it's a horror film, and it's fantastic, and we watched it in color, but there is a specially like edited black and white version that the director has kind of overseen, and I haven't watched it yet, but it's interesting that a lot of directors do decide to release their film in color or black and white, and then also release an alternative version, because I think it does tell a different story. Actually thinking about it, if I think of watching Lucas and Albert in color, would it have made me feel different about the film? Maybe. Do I feel it's more? Do I feel it's more quintessentially British because it's in black and white? Maybe, but why? Not sure. But there's a feeling like
we'll never know.
There's a feeling associated with that kind of black and white stylistic filming, and I think even if it wasn't originally intended, you guys have certainly done a great job at grading it for black and white, because everybody knows you can't just shoot in color and literally just whack a black and white filter. You've got to regrade the film accordingly, but I think you've done a great job, and the contrast and everything, I think, is it just highlights the contrast between the two leads, but also the stuff that they have in common. Like I think it's a wise stylistic choice. Personally, I really enjoyed it.
It's amazing what it's not. It's all right. I was just gonna. You're right. It's not easy grading to the black and white. And you're right, you can't shoot color and go, or just desaturate it. And desaturating it sometimes does a lot of damage. It
does.
It's
But the term desaturation though is to remove the color, and you can't just remove color. you've got to still treat it. You've still got to look at the light bits, the highlights, the shadows, and everything else in between. So I think I just really, really like the aesthetic of it.
Cool.
So that whole Prime thing, I found really, really, really interesting, and I think 2 million watch minutes is so many, isn't it? And you think like that is awesome. That's an awesome stat to be able to narrow down, rather than just say 27 people have watched the film. You know how many minutes it's been watched for, and I think that's brilliant. The film was obviously.
What's also interesting about Amazon is there's a media create area on Amazon, but only in America. We've actually got the film on Blu-ray and DVD on Amazon.com. You basically build your Blu-ray, you design the cover, the label, and what you do is you send all the files to them on an upload server. Amazon.com will then advertise it as a Blu-ray or DVD. When you order it, they print the DVD, burn it, they put it into the packaging, print the cover, case it, wrap it, and they post it out. So that's how it comes. And they do that just based on files. So you just create image files. Again, it costs a little bit more money to post it from America to anywhere in the world, but that option is there as well to do it. It's quite.
So it's like an on-demand service.
They help. Amazon have got it. I just wish there was a version of that in the UK that would help UK people do it, because we've generated 100 DVDs and 100 Blu-rays that we're going to be selling ourselves to help generate some money back. But it would be nice if Amazon.co.uk offered that service here. So it's a shame that we've had to do it through America, but it's on Blu-ray and DVD and it's available to buy. So it's need someone in the UK to carry that on behalf of Amazon or something.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and I think even if people can go watch it on Prime, I think having the Blu-ray with those special features, like I'm a bit of a special features lover, and watching them, I'd love to watch the making of this. So actually, the Blu-ray there. So we said, didn't we, that we were going to give a copy of the Blu-ray and DVD away to somebody watching this. Do you want to explain a little bit more about how they can get a copy?
I've got a copy of Blu-ray or DVD here. Okay, so it's the full film, and on the back you have got feature film, trailers, making of, gallery, booklets, and everything. And I've also got a copy of the program that was sold at the cinema screenings, which is signed by me, A.G. Longhurst, and James. There are postcards, a couple of the tickets, and this is a book based on the film, the people involved, the cast, everything about it.
That's awesome.
That there is the lovely Cheska who made this film possible. She's amazing. Absolutely one of the hardest working people in the industry. I'm going to give this away as a gift for a question
awesome,
that we'll do at the end of the show for you. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll come back to it then. So stay tuned to the end. We're not far. We're not far from the end anyway. I'm sorry to say. So your film has obviously got good reception since its release. I've noticed it's up for some awards as well. Which one of them you thought was a bit of a joke?
We got nominated for Best Feature Film at the National Film Awards, which. I was actually on the phone to Neil Phillips talking about it, and Neil said, "Have you just got an email from the National Film Awards?" I went, "No." He said, "Yeah, they're telling me we've just been nominated for Best Feature Film." And I went, "Oh, that's a really nasty, sick joke to play on independent filmmakers." And then I got an email came in, and it was the same email, and I was like, "Are you? No, that's nasty." So we ignored it, and then AG got the email, and we're like, "Well, all right, what's going on?" So I phoned them up, and accused them of being really sick people playing a nasty joke. And it turns out we have been nominated for Best Feature Film, and we are up against 1917. Sam Mendes. Oh my God, my hero. Up against his film. We were up against Fighting With My Family featuring The Rock. We are up against there's another film, I can't remember the name of it. It's a town, which again is black and white, beautiful film. But me and Sarah have sat and watched all the films that we are in the amazing company of, and sadly, due to coronavirus and COVID-19 and the pandemic, the award ceremony was postponed. But it is actually being rescheduled for September 28th, which for everybody involved in the film is a little bit of a sign, because we released the film on September the 29th, which is my brother's birthday. It was just a little nod to my brother, who doesn't really know what I do for a living. So, there you go, bro. It was, it's kind of a little sign. So we're just waiting. We're not expecting to win. What has made it really interesting is that industry people and public had voted for us that they felt our film was worthy enough to be put into that kind of company, that level of filmmaking. So we're really, really humbled. And I do think a lot of the reason why our film has done well, and this is something that we had at the cinema reviews and people who've seen the film, is I think the one thing that made our film work and gave it the atmosphere was the music. The music in that film, I think, it's all original. There's nothing that's been released or anything. These are all up-and-coming, talented people who I was honoured for me when they said, you can use some
even
of our
the tracks. Oh, wow. Yeah, because the soundtrack is good. And you feel like they've come from, like, they are released and they've got albums out and stuff. Wow, that's fantastic.
The people like Dean Reese, Sweet Felicity Arkwright, they were the track that was in the trailer. I've known Dean for many, many, many years, and he is, he's played with some amazing people in some amazing venues. He's one of the most established Hammond organ players in the world. I would say he's so clever. He donated a lot of tracks to us, and we had Denver McCord from Ireland, Northern Ireland. He came over for the red carpet event, and nice. he donated some tracks, and his music's great. Kelly Marie Smith had donated some of the real pop funky stuff. Caitlin Gray and Neil Harvey wrote the Puppet Master, which is an instrumental but also a song that is featured heavily in the movie. Robert Putt actually wrote a poem called The Puppet Master, and Caitlin and Neil very beautifully put this music to it. And that was kind of what the film was about, was Mr. Mac being the puppet master, and he's mimicking and manipulating all these people to get what he wants. It's there's so much depth, I think, that the music has brought to the scenes, and it really helps. Neil Phillips wrote some real quirky bits in there, like the samurai saw bit where he's practicing around the back of the car. Neil Phillips wrote that little Japanese Oriental piece, and it's there's some real quirky bits. And Rob Kahuna, who did all the audio mix, again another guy who writes music. He dropped a couple of real nice melodies in there for us. But I think music made the film, and again, I think musicians are on a bit of a bum deal at the moment with making money from their music. And so if I can get it out with the film, once the film's made its money, everyone starts getting their pieces of the pie. We can start giving money to artists for their music. Even look at maybe releasing a soundtrack. Music's key, and if you get it right, wow. A lot of people have looked for this music, and Dean Reese, Denver, Caitlin, Kelly Marie, they're all available on iTunes and stuff. Go and buy their music. Don't rip it.
You should put a soundtrack. Put a soundtrack together, man. That'd be cool.
Great. It's doing it in a way that the band make the money, not us, not the production. It's got to be done where every artist should be paid for the talent that they've got. And these guys, I don't think the film would have had that environment and feel if we hadn't had those kind of tracks in it. I think they're very keen. If you listen to the lyrics and the words, they just fit what is going on. They support the story massively.
Mate, it's amazing. I've been, on and off with your journey, working with you, and obviously some projects where we haven't for many years. I think we met way back in 2010, maybe 2011, something like that. I think. And I feel really proud of you for finally getting getting your dues, as it were, with something like this. I think it's brilliant. I hope that it just leads from strength to strength. We've got to finish in a few minutes, mate, but I think if you under a minute, what advice would you give for new filmmakers that are looking for a way to get their film seen and shown and made? You've now actually done it after many years of experience. So what advice would you give?
Don't give up. And the thing is, I say don't give up, literally don't give up. And you can do it. And God's sake, don't be afraid to ask people for help. If you look on Scruffy Bear Pictures, or even go to Longhurst and Park, A.G. Longhurst is such a wonderful bloke. He can give you advice. I'll give you advice. I've been editing for nearly 27 years now. I've kind of edited on most platforms. I've worked with so many amazing people I look up to, people like you. Creativity, you can't do it on your own. Don't ever think that you can go and do it on your own. Get the people in who you trust and believe in, and just go for it. I will always give people advice and help them. I think wealth and knowledge needs to be shared. And I also think you just need to support people. Don't be, oh, it's mine, I don't want to do it, I don't want them to succeed. The film industry is huge, but it's very small at the same time. Yeah, very small.
It's a piece of the pie for everybody, isn't there?
I would just say don't give up and ask for help, ask for advice. You can make films on minimal money. You can make a film look amazing on minimal money, as long as you've got the right people in there and they understand what you're doing. Don't butter it up. Don't make it sound bigger than it is. Tell them the truth. But I would say to anybody, don't work for free, because your talent is worth money. Your talent is your career. It's your input, your money, your life. Nobody should ever have to work for free. And, I'm guilty of it. I've worked for free. I've asked people for free. But if you want the talent, you've got to pay something for it, whether it's a Costa coffee, a Starbucks, a donut, cover their petrol, pick them up, bring them home.
I'll take that, mate. I'll take a coffee and a donut any day.
Oh, yeah, of course you would. Pay them something to make them aware that you acknowledge that they are worth something. A good crew will work on food. You feed them well, you'll get them. It's I think just honesty in this industry is what's needed.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's being upfront. If you are paying people with food, it's being honest, and then they can make the decision if they want to be. But also never, just seeing what opportunities and what you want to do with your journey and your path, and taking those appropriate opportunities. And I think that's good. That's good advice, mate. Yeah. So, Darren, listen, mate. What's this question then that people have got to answer? Right. I think maybe we should do it that they should. So maybe we leave, because after this stream, the episode will be live, will be published on my YouTube channel. So I think maybe we give people till, say end of the day Friday to email, and then we just pick a name out of the hat. So they can email, say me, they can send me an email. I can collate all the names. We can both go on a Facebook Live on Friday, and then we can reveal the winner. I think that'd be cool.
That'd be great.
So what do people have to do?
Easy question to win: a DVD or a Blu-ray of the film, okay, and a copy of the program that's signed. The question is, what was the name of my short film that won me my first award in Cannes in 2010? Short film. I'll give you a little hint. It's written by Sam Feeney. It's on the internet. You can find it. It was a beautiful student film that we made with some kids. It got noticed. And it won us this lovely award called the Coupe de Cour, which trimmed the crop in Cannes. It's what's the name of that film? And what we'll do is we'll do one of those fancy apps where we put the names in and we'll just hit a button and it'll select it.
Yeah. I think then over the next 2 days, I think say 6 p.m. on Friday, we'll make, if you're about, we'll do the live. And I think at the end of this video, at the end of the stream, there is my social handle, so people can, because I won't bog you down with all of it, but people can just tweet me, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, email me with the answer. I'll refer with you the correct answers, put everybody's name in a hat, be transparent with it, show the screen with everyone's name in, and then we'll draw a random. We'll use a random generator and see who's won it. But mate, that's really generous. I really appreciate that. I think that's really cool. I want to win it. Out
there. Mate, I'll send you a copy. It's fine. I'll pay for that one. Just in case Tony's listening. I'll cover the cost, Tony. It's fine.
He is listening, yeah. And he said, you better do. No, he didn't really say that. No.
He knows where I live.
Listen, mate, Darren, we've got to wrap it up there, mate. But it's been brilliant to hear this journey. Having known you for so long, having seen the film, and now finding out a little bit more about how it came to be. Obviously, I wish you all the continued success. Let's stay in touch. And I'm really looking forward to what you and your team come up with next, mate. But I know you're a busy guy. Thank you so much for spending time with me today.
Thanks, man. No, thank you. It's been an honour, mate. It's been so good catching up with you. It's been way too long, man. Way too long. Just thanks, Martin. Martin, who does this for you. What a great job. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
it really is.
So the guy with no face, a shadow, digital shadow. But yeah, he produces this episode, streams it, and does. Yeah. All right, man. Cut.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, mate. Yeah. Listen, mate. Thank you again, Darren. We'll catch up soon, mate. Have a good day.
No, thank you. It's been my pleasure, mate. Honestly, thank you so much.
There we have it. An insight into, first-time feature film director Darren S.Cook. Got his film Lucas now, but onto Amazon Prime. I suggest you go over there, check it out when you can. It's a really, really nice little indie film. And obviously, if you want the making of special features, you can be in with the chance of winning the signed DVD, Blu-ray, all the stuff as well. And I think it was. I was just really, really interested myself. I'm a big film buff, a big film fan, and I'm always interested to hear how these films and stuff come together. Darren and his team have done a fantastic job. Thanks everybody for watching today. If you enjoyed this episode, which I hope you did, please do consider subscribing to my channel. We have a new guest every Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Most of them are streamed live, some are pre-recorded, but every Wednesday, no doubt, I'm going to be here talking to somebody different about how they're using video in their business, profession, or hobby. Big thanks to Darren. Big thank you to everybody watching today. And I will see you, hopefully, next Wednesday at 10. Stay safe and have a good day.